Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting. Today is Tuesday, November 20th. The reason that we're meeting tonight is because of Thanksgiving, which is on Thursday this week. Justin is unable to be here because he is working. Thank you, everybody, for making time tonight. I'll ask for a warrant. A motion to sign warrants.
Make a motion to sign warrants.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, while those are going around, could I get a motion to approve the minutes of November 8th?
I make a motion we approve the minutes of November 8, 2012.
Second it.
All in favor? John, you want to start with old business?
Yeah. At the last Selectmen's meeting, the board approved going to uniforms for the town crew. This would include 3 members of Public Works, member of the sewer treatment plant, and a member of the recycling plant. UniFirst was here today. The gentleman got fitted for uniforms. Right now they're looking at about a 4 to 6 week in between to process it, so we should be seeing them into that 4 to 6 week time frame or sooner. So we'd be looking pretty close toward the beginning of the new year. We should have the uniform.
What color did they pick? The green?
They picked the forest green.
That looks nice.
Yep, we talked about what to have for an emblem, and basically they were happy with just Town of Lubec and their names.
Good.
All of these employees work in positions that require them to either get dirty or they're in contact with chemicals. This is the reason for the uniforms. We do require that these people wear safety shoes. We require that they wear colorful vests, what do you call it?
Reflective
vests,
safety
reflective vests. And the only thing that we had not done was provide uniforms, but we have had lots of feedback from the employees. They do have problems with their clothing, especially the ones that work in the sewer treatment plant, and that can be anyone from Public Works or the people at Recycle or the sewer plant. And if they do get chemicals or something else from the sewer plant, they do have to throw their clothes away. So this is why we looked into uniforms.
And the cost that they quoted us was really pretty reasonable. We added Bunky Tinker. He's a part-time employee, but I mean the past couple of weeks there, I mean he's worked 36 and 43 hours while we were waiting to hire Ken, and we got him half the number of uniforms, and by putting him on and bringing our number up to 6, we were able to get the insurance so that if any of the uniforms get damaged, torn, and need to be replaced, they're going to be completely covered. And it's the extra uniform and the insurance for $2 a week.
So that was a good deal.
For,
That's good.
yeah, adding that extra person,
Yep.
dropped the cost per uniform, and we were able to get the insurance on the uniforms.
Boy, Bunky saved us money. Wow.
Wouldn't it be Bunky to do that? Thank you, Bunky.
So, yeah, so we're hoping to see them in uniform. Hopefully, it should be right around the new year.
Cool.
Next item, we got a thank you note to the employees for working safely in 2012.
Committee updates.
Committee
Yes.
updates.
I'll kick this off. Our harbor board met last Thursday, and we were attended by George Powell, the State Director of Boating Facilities Program, and he was gracious enough to attend based on our question of the amount of pilings that have been over the years disappearing at their ramp. And he came, joined our meeting, and I believe he got back to you regarding it might be 2013 when we would see them be able to replace those pilings.
2013 or 2014, it depends on
Right.
how the budget is.
Exactly.
Where?
At the state's boat ramp, where their floating dock system ties up. Over the years, we've lost, I think, a total of 6.
6.
And,
Oh, wow.
right, and so it's getting kind of
Yeah.
dancy. So we felt it was within our area of responsibility to bring this to his attention. And so he came to one of our meetings and went down and looked the situation over, and
Oh, wow.
We've always had really good cooperation from them and the town.
Yes.
yes, and he may also be painting parking places in the parking area, the state's parking area, and it would accommodate what seems to be the natural parking of a vehicle with a trailer in the center and individual cars all around the perimeter, and keeping the one haul-up area for tying down your boat after you come up the ramp and pick the weeds off. And that'll be marked out on their parking area as part of that project, which they may do sooner than the pilings.
Yeah.
Good.
So, I mean, all in all, it was a real productive meeting.
Mm.
Yep.
They also talked about, what does the state do with some of the floats when they replace them?
Yeah,
And apparently, in some cases, they give them to other communities.
yeah.
So the harbor board asked them to keep Lubec in mind should some floats
Right.
become available.
Yep.
Yep.
So we would have some. As far as talking back and forth about what goes on down to the boat ramp, how it's used, he was very accommodating as far as working with the fishermen, working with the people who use it.
Mhm.
Recreational boaters, yes.
Typically, that is set up for recreational boaters. And
True, I
that
know
is
lots of
something.
the fishermen use it, myself included.
Yeah,
right? We
I know.
pile traps on the ramp, we've never ever had a problem with any of it, and
Right.
No,
I
everybody works
appreciate-
together.
I
Yep.
appreciate
Everybody
that
works
part,
together.
because
Right.
lobster fishermen in the community most certainly put a lot of money into it,
Mhm.
and around through the community, but one of the issues would be, for me, is the commercial pier. I'd like to see that upgraded, and I'd like to see some floats and stuff put into that, so that they would have their own,
Right.
the fishermen would have their own commercial area. So anytime that any tourist or anything coming in, and who knows, it's probably gonna grow down on that end of things, because Eastport, with the boats and things that they're bringing in, with all the tourists and then big liners and
Mhm.
stuff, well, I would say that would be the best area to kind of like make the
Yep.
pit stops
Right.
and bring people in, and it should be open for
Right.
fun in the sun in the summertime.
Yep.
Summertime, we'll do it.
Okay. Did anyone talk to him about designating that front row as not overnight parking?
Yes, that will be marked on the float, stenciled on the float as you approach it. It will say 2-hour parking limit,
Good.
which is what it says on their little sign,
I know.
which is the backside's facing you as you walk up the
Right.
ramp, so your chances are you don't read it. But that was one of the things that was brought up. And as you know, the harbor board has been working on an improvement to the commercial pier. We had put some money into the float
Right,
that was part of the commercial pier, the aluminum gangplank, gangway to it. We have a price on that, and we're going through, looking into a grant to improve.
We have the grant, we have the go-ahead on the grant,
Right,
for that small harbor improvement grant.
right.
I brought it to the board's attention. They did call us up and let us know we have it. I've been working with the program, and we got the formal go-ahead now, this past week.
Right, and that includes pilings to the exterior, repair work to the whaler beams at the bottom of the pier that those pilings attach to, because as I described before, the chain of events that caused that whole mess was that the piling had ripped loose. The corner piling that the chain collar holds the floating dock.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was crucial. So we can't put anything back in until the pilings are replaced, then we can put the floating dock, then we can put the gangplank. So we've made progress on that.
No, no. I was curious about the electrolysis and the water and stuff because with all
Yes.
metal and steel. you
Right,
get
we're
water
still
in
looking
it,
into
all
the
time.
cathode anodes
That
to
will
attach
take,
to that.
that will take the strength out of it quickly.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing, when George came on, he and I were talking, and to go through the Small Harbor Improvement Grant, it all has to do with going through the bid process. Well, how do you spec a piling? How do you spec a gangway? And these were some of the questions that I was asking George. What does the state use? So he did bring me up some language and some specs for a gangway. The standard that the state uses to make sure that it's welded, that it's safely, that we order something that's going to last and it's going to be safe for people to use. So when we put together the request for proposal, we can fall back on that language.
Right.
And we'll know that what we're getting is going to be what we need.
Okay, I'm gonna take the next one, which is the Shellfish Committee. We had a meeting last night, and the committee discussed the DMR regulation changes regarding time and temperature of shell stock and transportation to the dealers. And Bob Varney, our committee chair, has requested that I invite Dennis Mark Nault to our next meeting on the 19th, because there's a part of the changes which may, it seems by reading it, the interpretation is mussels will be under the shellfish ordinance. So this is something we'd like to have, Dennis is the DMR rep.
Yeah.
And he's come to our meetings in the past, so we're gonna invite him. Hopefully we'll be at the next meeting. And the date of the next Shellfish Committee meeting is December 19th, 5 p.m. here at the town office, in this very room. I'll take the last one.
Please attend.
Yes, please attend, committee members especially. No, December 19th, 5 p.m. Recycling. This is another plea by one of your selectmen for you to please take out of your garbage the plastic, the paper, the glass, the cans, cardboard, and bring it to our recycling facility. It's working good, and we're just this week going to be shipping 2,400 pounds of pulverized glass. So keep up the good work and keep at it.
Is there any way we can lay that on the beach down there and send the tourists down?
You know,
and get like
a
bucket?
previous board member had that as a suggestion,
Just a
that
thought.
we've got the best glass polishing beaches in the state. And we could be probably doubling our money, right, Jim?
Sure we
Just you and I go down there and just hand broadcast it out.
Yeah.
Actually, just put it in the back of the public works pickup there with the sander and just spread it.
There's another thought. But on that temperature thing with the clams, Mike, what is that all?
Well, the state always had language in their DMR regulations that when a clammer digs clams,
Yeah.
there's a temperature, and they've now broken it down into two portions of the year, that you have a certain amount of time, and the maximum is 18 hours. That after you've dug shell stock, 18 hours later, they need to be at, no more than 18 hours, they need to be at the dealer.
You won't think so.
Oh, yeah, yeah, and I mean, all of this is based on protection of the product.
Right.
You don't want people getting sick, and therefore they won't buy clams.
Right.
So if they're handled properly and with the correct sanitation practices,
All right.
then the product is always good. So that's really where it's coming from. And but the inclusion of the mussels is something that that we'd like a definitive about. So
Ooh, that's new. Okay,
that's all I've got.
any other committees? Sarah, you want to address the budget committee,
Budget committee,
the county
the
budget?
county met last week, I believe, and approved a budget to go back to the county commissioners. I haven't heard that it was denied, so